So they wait and wait and wait, and James doesn't leave, which I think he probably should have, but he doesn't. And Elizabeth is kind of pleading, so the biggest high I ever experienced, still maybe as a parent, is shopping with your kids. Like when you get to take them shopping and buy them stuff, especially if you're going to buy them clothes, they get so happy and they just love you so much temporarily. But it's such a high. So Elizabeth really wants the three of them to just go shopping together, and James is getting more and more annoyed. Okay, this is the last few pages of the chapter. Still, Rosie provided James with great stuff for his writing. She told him about teenage chatter and slang, the dope, and the kids who had been in rehab. She described how they all clustered together to make themselves a village in which a few rare people seemed to have knowledge and power. Oh, baby, James told her, it's always been the same. His novel, he's gotten one novel published, and he's gotten a job at the NPR station in San Francisco. He's writing periodic, very short essays. His novel took place in the years when Reagan was governor, when his generation was walking around in hate with girlfriends and boyfriends, accepting whatever came along, giving away what they had to share. Then, as now in the parkade, talismanic amulets hung from their necks. Strange caps kept them warm and said how different they were, especially when it was 100 degrees out. And how, at the same time, all that mattered still was fitting in. There was fitting in somehow, anywhere, anyhow, and there was the abyss. The last time Elizabeth and Rosie had gone on a hike together, Elizabeth had brought up the Friends with Benefits business, not for the first time. Tell me again, help me understand, what is in it for the girls? At first Rosie said, this is what all teenage girls say, it is so exaggerated, it's just something the moms are obsessed with. There's nothing I can say to help you understand. Then she allowed that maybe some skeevy girls did it too much, like without even having real affection for the guy or God. But mostly it was just friendly, and it meant that you were desirable. Plus, Rosie said, the guys were so grateful. Well, yeah, I guess, said Elizabeth. I'm leaving, James announced at the parkade as he caught up to Elizabeth at the foot of the steps. I want a divorce. You can keep the children. I don't know how long I'm going to live, but I do not choose to spend whatever remains with your passive-aggressive daughter. It's not like we're dragging her off to the dentist. We're trying to spend money on it, and yet she still blows us off. We have to leave now, Elizabeth. Trust me, if we stay here, it injures her character. You must not reward brattiness or flake. Let's see. Elizabeth slipped her arm through James's, and they headed toward the car. But just then she heard from across the street, Mama, Mama, James, I'm sorry. There she was, smiling, waving, walking toward them, tall and broad-shouldered after a childhood of being so thin, her black hair piled on her head the way Ray wore hers, like hippie girls, secured with pencils, silver clasps, porcelain chopsticks. Her breasts were nearly as big as Elizabeth now. Everyone, men and women alike, checked them out. Even children checked them out, with memory and fear and desperation. She wore shredded cutoffs and a white gypsy shirt over the spandex tank top that contained the sprawl. She and her best friends, Elizabeth and Jody, bought most of their clothes at secondhand stores except for shoes and their $100 jeans. Elizabeth made eye contact with James to convey solidarity, her refusal to fully forgive, but a moment later she stepped into Rosie's hug, relieved and happy as a devotee or a golden retriever. Rosie smelled the vanilla extract that she wore as perfume, with a faint smoky odor of incense and campfires and the rare cigarettes, and the foundation with which she and Alice and Jody were spackled. Rosie peered at James as if looking around the corner. He scrutinized his watch. I'm sorry, James, I swear to you I'll make it up. I hate waiting, he said. Well, the next time she said snobly, just leave. Well, I'm going to. Why are you wearing glasses, Elizabeth interrupted. Why aren't you wearing sunglasses, Elizabeth interrupted. Rosie shrugged, but Elizabeth persisted. This is so important. It's your only real protection from more sun damage. And was that concealer under Rosie's eyes? Did you get a good sleep, she continued. She couldn't stop herself. She was so worried, studying the faint blue crescent she now saw under Rosie's eyes. I didn't hear you come in last night, Rosie. Hey, have you eaten? Did you at least eat some fruit before you came? I know, let's get you a muffin before we go shopping. God, Mama, Rosie said, stop, I'm not a child anymore. James started to say something, but Rosie made a face of exasperation and reached forward with a burlesque flourish, pretending to choke him. And in spite of himself, he smiled. Then he ambushed her with a wrestling move, his famous ninja tango hammerlock. She easily slid out of his grasp. Each of them knew all the other ones' moves. God, she said, you are so loped. It rhymed with stoked and meant crazy, out of control, about to beat somebody up. James leered at her as locally as he could, and she countered with a fake karate chop to his neck. He took 3 steps back and went into the one yoga pose he knew, downward-facing dog. Elizabeth and Rosie exchanged a long look. He was such an idiot. When he got up, the 3 of them set off together down the street. So that's where they are. They're setting off together in the last months of Rosie's life as a high school senior, and they all think they know each other's moves. But if you do, if they did, you don't have a novel. So, I would love